How has it like evolved? Like, I mean, now there's like 1.4 million other like women following you, and then at the start it was just a couple dozen people. Like,
Yeah.
how did it start to gain traction once you like started the Instagram account? And who were those
Yeah.
people who were like engaging with the post?
Yeah, it's a good question. So like when I first started out, my goal was to build an audience. And so I really had no experience in doing this before whatsoever. I was not a social media person in that type of world at all. So very green when it comes to any of that stuff. And I didn't use any like services or people to help me sort of strategize on
It was
ways
just
to
you.
grow an audience. Yeah, it was just me. But I mean, I was doing plenty of my own research, just like reading all the articles I could find online about what to do, how to post, how frequently to post. And, you get a lot of sort of, I mean, I guess maybe obvious and maybe not obvious to people answers of just like regular posting, posting frequently and regularly. So like in terms of time of day, all of that shit. And, being active on stories as well as posts and, connecting with like-minded accounts. So, commenting on people's accounts that were posting content that's sort of similar to yours in hopes of getting noticed by other accounts that either are following them or by that account itself. Like, oh,
Did
who's this
you wait?
person? That was a
Did you
funny
start like?
comment.
Sorry, did you start like building like, I don't know, connections, relationships, like kind
I
of just
did.
natural community with other people? Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started reaching out to other accounts who were like mine, at least in theory, like in terms of mindset, I guess. But
Mhm.
at this point, this was like prior to Reels. It was all just posts on Instagram. So there was really like very little video content. And a lot of the accounts that I was sort of interacting with were kind of meme like accounts about
Mhm.
motherhood or just like small written pieces that they had like original content of theirs, but just, like
Text
one or
post.
two words. Yeah, text
Mhm.
posts. And I guess I just found a group of people that were similar to me. And what happens is if you find people who are like that and who have, accounts that are growing or that they're trying to grow, when your content is shared, that's how you grow. So like
Mhm.
creating relatable content that can be shareable is the way to gain an audience. And so I kind of figured that out um, in the way that I noticed that if I was interacting with a friend on
Mhm.
Instagram, a like-minded account, if you will, and they shared my post, that I would get a certain number of new followers that day. And I was like, oh, okay, this whole thing kind of works. And then it got to the point for me where sharing other people's content wasn't really worth it for my account anymore
You
because
started to like break out of the pack a little bit.
yeah, like I just my own content was getting shared enough organically that way that it made more sense for me to just create all my own content and not make
Dilute
it
the
like a
brand.
conglomerate of other people's
Mhm.
content and stuff. So that was maybe a couple of months in where I just started focusing on all my own stuff. And yeah, it's just that's the way it goes. You just if I think if you do show up and consistently create content that is relatable enough that people will share it and your audience will grow. And then there's some things that feel completely out of your control, like the algorithm.
Yeah. It's like I feel like all that's really in control is like you said, like posting frequently, high volume, consistently, and like everything else is kind of like, I mean, there's things you can do. But anyways, I I want to talk about like again one more thing about the evolution of the project before we move on. So